Oh, hey guys, me again. It's Friday. I'm feeling motivated. Had a great week in the gym and just you know what? Honestly, I'm enjoying coaching more than I probably have in a long time. And that's probably because I'm coaching more classes and I'm doing more one-on-ones with people. And you could just say like I'm more submerged in the industry of coaching and not necessarily trying to just work on my business. Like, I don't know, feeling fired up lately, and I'm absolutely grateful that I get to do this for a living. But my topic today, right now, is going to be on the CrossFit pyramid, aka the CrossFit hierarchy of development. And I was just going over this in class, and I had the athletes help me fill out the pyramid, meaning that they were taking stabs at it, and they actually did a good job. So, you know, like the nutrition pyramid, although it was total garbage for the longest time, the idea of the pyramid having your foundation be a certain element and building on that and getting only relative doses of everything makes sense. So the pyramid hierarchy, athletic, at the bottom we have nutrition, and really I should probably not be driving and trying to have this conversation. I need a whiteboard behind me, but that's okay. I'm going to do my very best because that's what we do with what we got. So the very bottom of the pyramid, okay, the biggest base is nutrition. And it is nutrition for a lot of reasons, but nutrition is going to be the thing that manages how much body fat you have, what your heart condition is like, what your triglyceride levels are, H1, G1, that diabetic hormone, your blood pressure. All those things can be managed primarily through nutrition. And I know it's like, it's almost defeating to think, for people to try to think like, oh, I'm just gonna get healthy by working out. And it's so cliche to just tell people over and over and over again. It's like, I don't care how much you show up. If you are not actively working on your nutrition, you're not going to grow. You're not going to get the results that you desire. And everybody, like when you start on a health journey, like ultimately we're trying to all achieve the same thing. This balanced feeling in our bodies, in our minds, in our confidence, like all those things is what we're after. More muscle, you know, relative to the jobs that we need to do. So nutrition's absolutely fundamental. And if you're new to CrossFit, here's the CrossFit prescription for nutrition. Are you ready? In this order, you should eat meat and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, a little starch, and no sugar. That is kind of like what paleo is for the most part. And to take that one step further, there's a method out there called the zone diet. And the zone diet is a method that helps you prioritize the correct amounts of protein and carbohydrates, the types of protein and carbohydrates to control your hormones, and make sure that it is a hormone-based diet, and then also to fuel your performance, because initially it starts as a 30% protein, 30% fat, 40% carbohydrate, balanced diet. 3 meals, 2 snacks every day, relative to your body weight and your activity level. So for somebody like me, I'd probably be around the 19 to 21 blocks prescription. And if a block has 7 grams of protein, that means I'm roughly gonna be prescribed 140 grams of protein from protein sources only. That does not include protein from, any vegetables or, mostly vegetables, beans, processed foods, whatever. So realistically, if you included all the protein I eat from vegetables and stuff, it's probably closer to 160, maybe 170 at the most. But on certain days, I also take like an extra protein shake. So anyway, so protein, and then your carbohydrate consumption should be just a percentage above those protein levels. So that's kind of like the essence of that diet. Now, I can nerd out on that one. I've actually created a couple videos on it. But so getting your nutrition right is 100% where you need to start. Not only where you need to start, but you need to revisit that over and over and over and over and over. And if you're too proud, or if you're too stubborn to, or you feel too defeated to continue down that path because maybe you haven't gotten results in the past, or maybe you tried something and it didn't stick, like, you need to surrender that attitude over and over and over again and ask for help. Admit that you're failing. You have to submit, and you have to go all in on your nutrition as many times as it takes until you finally got it dialed in. Don't jump into supplements. Don't jump into more cardio. Don't jump into a weightlifting program if you're not going to take your nutrition seriously and recommit to it over and over and over. So the next thing on that list, after you've started to work on your nutrition, and it's not like you need to work on nutrition first, but you do need to work on nutrition at some point if you want to see optimal results. Every single CrossFit Games athlete, every elite marathon runner, every elite power lifter, every one of them has their nutrition dialed in for the sport and body composition that they need for fuel and performance. Every one of them. So if you want to be moderate, like a, amateur, then eat like an amateur. If you want to be a beginner, then eat like a beginner. If you want to make no progress, then ignore it altogether. But I don't know how many times, you got to hear this. It is so fundamental. But above that, it's metabolic conditioning. So tier 1, we work on nutrition. You do it because you're an athlete and you want results and you want the long-term health benefits. You don't want to risk heart disease and cancer and all those things that just feed off of basically excess fat, excess carbohydrates, sugars, shitty food that clog your arteries. I don't know. It's so frustrating to watch people just spin in wheels or spin their wheels. So anyway, tier number 2, metabolic conditioning. That is why Metcons in CrossFit are basically every single day. We don't just lift on any given day. We're always going to have something that's going to increase your heart rate, even if it's just your warm-up. Your warm-up should increase your heart rate to minimum 60 to 70% of your max. And then even your lifting for the day, or if you're going to do a couplet or a triplet, because that metabolic conditioning exposes your heart, your organs, your veins, your mind, to like all of it, to stress. So when you put your body under that stress, it works the heart is a muscle. So when you work your heart as a muscle and all your organs are starting to work, you're forcing them to work faster. You're making them more efficient so that you use less energy when you're using them. But not only that, you're gonna train multiple metabolic pathways so that you develop a well-rounded base of your anaerobic and aerobic outputs. So yeah, cardio, super important, because that's also going to get your resting heart rate down lower, your recovery rates from high heart rate, you're going to improve on that. So many different things. So beyond that, we move into gymnastics, so tier 3. So now we got nutrition, metabolic conditioning, and now gymnastics. And gymnastics is so important because like strength development, I don't care if you can lift strict press 250 pounds and back squat 500 pounds and deadlift 700 pounds if you are 35% body fat. Don't care. Because if you're 35% body fat, you're going to have very limited ability to press up. You're probably going to be very limited on your mobility. Your core stamina and muscle endurance in general is going to be very limited, because as soon as that heart rate starts working, those big muscles that you got, they're going to start shutting down pretty quick. So learning how to push and pull your body, squat your body weight, getting used to where your body is in space with like box jumps and ladders, and just working on your agility and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, mobility and core strength, all that has to do with gymnastics. So like if you can develop a gymnastics style frame, it's a much easier to put on muscle and strength and power and speed using weights once you have kind of developed that. So then after that, finally, the one that everybody thinks CrossFit is all about is weightlifting. We do a lot of weightlifting because it's good for bone density. It's good for building muscle, because you can build muscle to contribute to those gymnastic development as well. But that's where your power and your speed and muscle endurance, muscle hypertrophy, joint health, that helps with your tendon health. So weightlifting is really important, but most people are like, they want to start getting their health under control. They just go jump on the cardio for a little bit and then they jump right to the weights, and almost always avoid push-ups, pull-ups, air squats, lunges, handstands, single leg balance, all that kind of stuff. So you can't skip all that stuff and think that you're gonna just be the best athlete out there. But it is important when you're working on top end strength, because you can only load your body so much. So, and then finally, the top of the pyramid is sport. This is where we put a timer on your movements, 5 rounds for time. Try to do that as fast as you can at the relative loads and with the best form possible. And then let's do it next to a few other people that are relatively close to your skill level, and really challenge you to like be in an arena type atmosphere. So like the sport of fitness, the marathon races, the bodybuilding, the CrossFit competitions, the powerlifting competitions, mud runs, whatever you want to call it. Like those are all great, but and ultimately just challenging yourself to measure against yourself. Do a test, do a mile run this month, and then do a mile run in next month, and see if you're improving. That that awareness on this previous time is going to push you to another level of intensity. So that's kind of where the sport comes in. There's my rant for the end of the day. And again, this goes back to like, how are we going to create the best health? We're gonna approach our nutrition. We're gonna consistently show up to the gym to get our conditioning in, or we're gonna go for walks. We're gonna stretch. We're gonna work our core. We're gonna do body weight exercises, and then we're gonna throw in some weightlifting, and then we're gonna add intensity to all of that. So if you have questions about your nutrition, please talk to me. I am more than willing to give free advice. I am more than happy to guide you in the right direction. The more questions you ask, the more answers you're gonna get. If you want serious accountability, then we can do one-on-one nutrition coaching. I only take 5 people at a time, and right now I'm full. But ask the right questions right now, get some advice. We'll get you down the right direction. And if I open up a couple slots, then you'll be on my list. So anyway, just don't stop. Don't stop pursuing yourself. All right, bye.